knows every shadow like a lover's name. Her steps a rhythm, a deadly game. Fingers chase the edge of time. She rewrites the world, one line at a time.
Chapter 12. Ladakh Summit. The Ladakh mountains stretched endlessly, craggy peaks cloaked in ice, barren and unforgiving. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, where the wind carried whispers of secrets buried beneath frozen stones. Towering at 14,000 feet, this isolated wasteland was a testament to nature's fury, an inhospitable fortress where only the strongest or most reckless dared to go. The air was razor-sharp, piercing the skin and chapping the lungs with every breath. Altitude sickness clawed at her senses, yet Ananya pressed forward, her every step shrouded in silence, her mind tuned to the mission above all. Outside, the biting cold made her cheeks numb. Each exhale, a small cloud vanishing into the static-filled air. The mountains loomed like silent guardians, watching, waiting. On this cruel terrain sat a machine of war, an unyielding fortress of steel and resistance, built with purpose to survive the deadliest of climates and the most vicious of enemies. Its walls, forged from layered metal and precision engineering, stood resilient against both the harshest weather and violent assault. Inside, warmth and security offered a fleeting refuge from the deadly chill outside, a sanctuary for secrets and lies. Within its reinforced chambers, the world's most dangerous spies assembled. 9 nations built on suspicion and shadows, had sent their finest operatives to a single clandestine summit. Here, amid the metal and electronic hum, they discussed the future of power, a force that could redefine the course of history, quantum technology. Ananya moved swiftly through the airtight doors designed to seal out the cold, her heartbeat pounding faintly with the device pressed against her chest, a core of unthinkable potential and terrible threat. She knew, she felt, that what she carried outstripped ordinary understanding, a key to either salvation or catastrophe, depending entirely on who controlled it and when. The room was a tableau of tense precision. 12 chairs, arranged with military exactness, hummed with barely perceptible caution. Hidden speakers and sensors purred like predators, all ears and eyes, watching, listening for betrayal. In this room, trust was a lie. Every glance, every word could be a trap. David Carter sat near the door, an immaculate suit contrasting sharply with the rugged, militarized environment. His eyes, sharp and restless, flicked across every corner, a predator disguised as a diplomat. His mind was constantly calculating, ready to strike the moment cues appeared. Opposite him, Mikhail Sokolov lounged with quiet confidence, the calm before storm. His bulk and demeanor betrayed nothing, but Ananya knew well enough the beast beneath. Calm on the surface, but if provoked, a fury capable of destroying an entire battalion. Isabella Cruz sat on the edge of her chair, alert as a hawk. Spain's representative in this gathering was rarely seen, but quantum technology had changed the calculus. She was ready to strike at a moment's notice. Every nerve in her body radiated tension, her eyes sharp, her stance poised. Yu Mei sat unmoving, her expression cold as ice, calm exterior concealing razor-sharp intellect. Ananya sensed her mind racing, threading plans that stretched beyond the immediate threat, a chess game played at the speed of light. Lucien arrived last, his presence slicing into the tense silence like a blade. His eyes, dark and knowing, instantly found Ananya's. A flicker of history, shared secrets, unspoken threats, passed between them in a tense glance. The silence was deafening. The gravity of what was about to be said or done hung thick in the air, unbreakable. Carter finally spoke, voice smooth, calculated. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to discuss a breakthrough. Technology that could change everything about national security. Yet beneath the politeness lurked a primal truth. This was about control. Power capable of rendering spies obsolete or granting one faction dominion over the planet's future. Sokolov's laugh burst out, deep, thunderous, almost predatory. Let's stop pretending. Dr. Varma's research is real. Miss Rao holds the keys. Every country here wants to own or destroy it. Enough talk. Tell the truth. His bluntness cut through Carter's diplomatic veneer, unmasking the raw hunger beneath. Yume's voice was guarded, deliberate, as she laid out her vision. This technology can elevate humanity, if used properly. Or it can concentrate power in one hand, destabilizing the world. China proposes cooperation. No one gains unfair advantage. But Ananya interpreted her words differently. China's real goal was dominance, a future secured beyond the reach of rivals. Isabella's fiery words sliced through the room's quiet. Cooperation? Like nuclear powers sharing reactors while hoarding weapons? Like communications controlled by a few? Her tone was sharp, her gaze unwavering. She was tired of being sidelined, of being left in the dark while the giants made their decisions. They debated ownership of the quantum keys, biological locks, digital passwords, control measures. Ananya felt herself shrinking into the storm of words. She was becoming the focal point of their scheming. She was more than just an observer now. She was a player, a pawn, perhaps even a prize. Lucien's voice cut through like a shot. France believes Dr. Varma's research belongs to its creator, his chosen heirs, rather than governments that would steal for power. Hidden beneath his words was the underlying truth. Ownership was a fragile illusion in the face of ruthless force. Then, Yume's calm tone betrayed her real intentions. China's goal is not to seize this technology, she declared. It's to destroy it, preventing anyone from weaponizing it, helping criminals and terrorists communicate beyond our reach. The room quivered with shock. The notion of destruction, not control, rippled like a shockwave. Sokolov understood instantly. A wise move. If Beijing cannot control it, eliminate the threat altogether. His dark humor was a dagger, sarcastic, deadly, emphasizing that sometimes the best defense was annihilation. Ananya, hearing the words, clenched her fists. The research exists. It cannot be uninvented. The biological locks, they're untransferable. The real question isn't about if quantum communication will happen. It's about who will command it and who will pay the price. Outside, the mountains echoed with the roar of a storm. Snow and wind battered the fortress with ferocity. A voice crackled through the comm system. Urgent, strained. Weather deteriorating. 4 hours maximum to evacuate. Tension sharpened, each second ticking like a clock on their lives. They weren't just fighting over technology anymore. They were fighting for survival against the fury of nature, against the greed and treachery of nations, against an uncertain future. Isabella's smile was dangerous, almost predatory. Trapped together, armed spies, enemies in a room. This usually doesn't end well. Suddenly, chaos. Without warning, violence erupted. Isabella surged toward the communication systems, weapon in hand. Carter's instincts kicked in. Warning, warning. Stay back, Cruz. But she was already pulling her gun, voice sharp. This entire summit, this technology, makes us powerless unless someone controls the keys. Gunfire echoed, flashes illuminating the room. An attack, a sabotage, a bloodletting. People scrambled, fighting desperately amid the chaos. Ananya dove under the table. Her mind racing with calculations, her life, her mission, the quantum device pulsing like a heartbeat against her chest. Sokolov fought back with feral intensity, his weapon like a magician's wand. British lies, he spat through the smoke. Diplomatic immunity? Zah! That doesn't cover mercenaries, nor the law. Lucien's quick shot broke the assault, saving her, but revealing one harsh truth. Multiple factions wanted her dead, to snatch the technology or silence her forever. The room was a battlefield now. The life support systems flickered under damage, the walls shuddering as gunfire tore into the structure. Yume moved with deadly grace, heading for the main communication links. Her aim, disconnect, erase, eliminate witnesses. Ananya ammo fired back, her skills honed for this very moment. The truth was, this wasn't a meeting anymore. It was a war zone. In the thick smoke, she saw it. Yu Mei, a figure of menace, trying to shut down the outside world. Could she stop the truth from reaching the world? Could she stop the chaos from spilling into global disaster? Outside, the storm raged, snow-pounding walls, wind screaming in fury. They had no choice but to escape. Lucien's voice was steady amid the chaos. Emergency airlock, protective suits, cross the plateau. Exposing themselves to the deadly elements, they made a desperate dash, fighting against the storm, against time, against those hunting them. Sokolov's heavy breath punctuated the cold, the exhaustion. Russian engineering is built for Siberian death, but I prefer warm vodka and heated rooms. Helicopters appeared, dangerous, relentless, blades slicing through the wind, hunting in the storm's chaos. Different engines, American, Chinese, British, an uneasy cooperation in pursuit of a single, deadly prize, the quantum key. Battery life dwindled, alarms blaring warnings, every second precious. The mountains, the snow. The wind, they became a deadly dance, part of the hunt. The truth, the real war, had begun. No longer nations against nations, but factions within the shadows. Progress versus control, liberty versus tyranny. Ananya, clutching tightly to her key, her heartbeat echoing in her ears, realized the scope of it all. The summit wasn't just about technology. It was about death, sacrifice, and the future of all humanity. The mountain's ancient caves beckoned, deep chambers carved by time, offering refuge, but also potential traps. Helicopters searched with thermal imaging, weapons aimed in the whiteout, inevitable, relentless. Inside the shelter, amidst the silence of eternity, her gaze fell on the quantum device, pulsing softly, an ominous promise of what lay ahead. The storm outside roared like a beast, raw, primal, yet her mind was sober. This war for quantum was no longer theoretical. It was here, alive, deadly, unstoppable. And she, Ananya, carried the future, locked in her mind, in her body, in her very soul. Because in this war, this cold, savage fight, survival depended on choices. Alliances forged in fire, betrayals buried in snow. And the question remained, who would control the future of human communication? The wind outside intensified, swirling snow like phantom soldiers in a ghostly parade. Ananya's breaths came shallow and rapid, each inhale a battle against the suffocating altitude. Her suit's sensors flashed warnings, approaching hypoxia, but she pushed herself forward, eyes fixed on the dim outline of the cave entrance, a sanctuary carved by millennia of ice and stone. Pain gnawed at her limbs, cold bit deeper now, mingling with exhaustion until every step felt like dragging herself through quicksand. The quantum device pulsed steadily against her chest, unyielding proof that she carried the world's deadliest secret, now a death trap. Behind them, the blaze from the ruined facility glowed ominously. Chemical fires spitting black smoke into the storm's fury. The explosions had been precise, surgical, erasing all evidence that could link the massacre to its architects. Helicopters thundered through the blizzard, searchlights piercing the swirling white noise, sweeping the frozen plateau with relentless vigilance. "They're closing in," Lucien murmured, voice tight with fatigue and fear. "Extraction point lies just beyond that ridge. We keep moving. No hesitation." His face flickered in the glow of his comm device, taut and serious. Sokolov shuffled beside her, breath steaming in freezing air. "Russian winter's brutal," he grunted, "but this is another world. Vodka won't warm this hell." His rare attempt at humor barely masked his grim resolve. Ananya wanted to answer, to share their grim bond of survival, but her limbs were leaden. Every breath a victory. She focused on her suit's holographic map, an intricate labyrinth of caves ahead, a maze of shadow and stone offering refuge or death. Behind them, shouted orders cut through storm and rotor blade roar. The hunters of the quantum secret were close, elite forces equipped for all odds, merciless and methodical. Yet the ancient caves offered hope, a chance to hide from thermals, gunfire, and the unforgiving technology that otherwise hunted them like prey. But this sanctuary came with dangers of its own, a terrain filled with unknown traps and dark uncertainty. The cold seeps through her suit now, numbing fingers and toes, but Ananya refused surrender. She adjusted the device pulsating against her chest. This was more than a machine. This was the fragile thread between revolution and ruin. Lucien's voice broke the silence again, urgency sharper this time. Energy critical, conserve power for comms. No battery means silence, and silence means death. She glanced at the flashing indicators, each blip a warning, a countdown toward catastrophic failure. Could they reach safety? Would their makeshift alliance endure the crushing weight of betrayal and doubt? Memories flickered, Ravi's kidnapping, poisoned trust, shifting loyalties, threads in a web of conspiracy tangled by ambition and desperation. Each step forward was a step deeper into a game with no winners. Her thoughts moved to the others, their faces etched with hunger, fear, and determination. Carter's calculating eyes, Sokolov's brutal force, Isabella's cunning, Yume's chilling calm. Each had gambled everything for dominion at this summit of shadows. A coded message sparked on her calm interface, an encrypted call from a handler, a lifeline or noose. She ignored it, focusing on the immediacy of survival. The cave's jagged mouth appeared, a black scar against the snowy wasteland. Lucien led, torchlight slicing thick shadows as they crossed the threshold into a hollow world carved by time. Inside, the air was stale, but mercifully still. The sharp cold replaced by a quiet that seemed to hold its breath. The ancient stone absorbed their steps, as if guarding secrets whispered only to the earth itself. Ananya paused, heart pounding, feeling the quantum device pulse with relentless urgency. This was no longer a war fought solely outside. It was shifting beneath the mountain, where silence and strategy would decide the future. The storm outside raged, mourning the lost and damned. Inside the cave, the cold was different, eternal, waiting, silent, and filled with the ghosts of what might come. Her grip tightened. This was more than survival now. It was the dawn of a war for control of civilization's future. Outside, helicopter rotors wail through blizzard's fury, while enemies close in. Inside, almost shadows and whispered hopes await. The battle for the quantum future had truly begun.
Her eyes burn cold, her touch ignites